Hey folks, this is Jason Lewis, the producer of the From the Shadows podcast. I just want to remind you about our website, fromtheshadowspodcast.com. We have a Facebook page. We would appreciate it if you like and follow. Also, join our discussion group on Facebook called After the Shadows. We have a Twitter feed. Please follow us on Twitter. It can be found with @podcast_from. Follow us on Instagram at From the Shadows Podcast. We have a YouTube channel. Go to the search bar at YouTube and put From the Shadows Podcast, and please subscribe to that channel. We are also on the Odyssey Radio Network, and we can be found there at odyssey1.com. We're still on the traditional podcatchers that everybody loves to listen to us on. We get a lot of feedback, so please rate the podcast and communicate with whether you're on Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, or Google Podcasts. We're there, and we appreciate it when you leave comments for us. We also have a Patreon page. It can be found at www.patreon.com/From the Shadows. You can receive books, stickers, coffee mugs, and special content just for our Patreon subscribers. Check it out for yourself and see what packages that we have to offer. Well, that's all I have for you right now, folks, and thanks for being a part of the From the Shadows podcast family. So with that being said, let's get this episode started.
Hey guys, listen, I know Howlers uses the one that's got the stories to start out with, but you guys know that I run a pretty well established girls AAU basketball program here in North Central Ohio, and so this time of year, every weekend we're somewhere playing basketball, and I always thought parents got kind of crazy. They're yelling at the refs, they're yelling at the kids, they're yelling at the coaches. Our program's pretty good. We got some really good parents, good kids, so we kind of keep that to a minimum. But all of us guys that run these programs, we all kind of keep in touch. And Saturday, I get this text message. And we're in Columbus, Ohio this last weekend. And up on Lake Erie at Sandusky, where you guys know where Cedar Point is. Even the Howler knows where Cedar Point is.
I do. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Cedar Point built this really nice sports complex. Probably
on top of the nuclear waste, or just around downwind from it, or
it's downwind from it. It's close.
Okay.
I mean, it's
it
close.
Helps. Hey, that's why them kids are so big up there. That's smart.
It's down there on Cleveland Road, ain't it? Out there going east.
I don't know exactly. Yeah, I think it's on Cleveland Road, but yeah, it's east of Cedar Point. It's a really nice state-of-the-art facility. But probably 12 basketball courts, baseball fields. Well, anyways, I get this alert that there's been a shooting up there after one of the games. Okay. Which just blows my mind. Then we start getting more information. All of us guys are passing around. And here it was a 6th grade boys basketball game.
Okay.
Where the guy was apparently upset over his son's playing time, and in the parking lot confronted the coach and shot him. Okay.
Wow.
Now, yeah. So the worst, at first you hear like the guy got life flighted, he's hanging, whatever. So, the details are kind of murky. So the next day I get a text from a guy whose daughter plays in our program, but he's up there with another daughter that was playing up at Cedar Point. Well, here he played the game before this, and so he had seen the perpetrators as he was leaving.
So there's more than one gunman?
No, but I'm saying the perpetrator.
Okay, he saw the people involved.
He saw the people involved. The coach, who, according to the gunman, was the perpetrator of not playing his kid, enough. And then the guy, well, here, the guy that got shot was missing a leg and in a wheelchair.
Okay.
So this
he
dad
couldn't get away real quick.
He couldn't get away. So the details have come out, from what I know, that the guy shot the guy in the butt as he's sitting. So the guy's missing a leg, already in a wheelchair, and I guess the guy kind of is like, I'm just going to shoot him in the butt because it's going to be hard for him to sit in that wheelchair, I guess. You know,
maybe the wheelchair turned at the last minute.
Had a bad
front
wheel.
You don't give him a break because he's in a wheelchair. I worked with a cop. Now, he didn't do it when I was working with him. I worked with a cop that got in a no-kidding gunfight in the kitchen of a shack with a dude in a wheelchair, right? So, I mean, there's different levels. I'm just going to be frank here. I might make some of the audience mad, but there's different, to me, a wheelchair guy is a worthy adversary times 2, right? Because first of all, you don't know why he's in there, right? You don't know why he's in there. So is he a Vietnam veteran that's been mad for 65 years or 55 years or whatever now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or is it a dude that, hey, I just lost my leg because of sugar diabetes and smoking and everything. I ain't got nothing to lose in a wheelchair? Or is it, you know what I mean? So like the thing I know about was a domestic situation. These deputies roll out there and I don't think they thought it was going to be that bad a deal. Woman calls 911, says her husband's abusive, blah, 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 blah. They roll out there. Well, he's the dude in the wheelchair. So the trigger pulling deputy, big weightlifting, muscle bound dude that I could only imagine thought, old man in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Old man in a wheelchair.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in the old man in the wheelchair's theory is, the woman that's been taking care of me for 35 years is really going to leave this time, right? You know what I mean? She means it this time. And these guys are fixing to take me to jail. And, you know what I mean? I'm 65, 70 years old. A wheelchair to jail ain't the best future for me. So I'm going to show you something, tough guy, and people, and this is going to sound bad. And, I try to back the blue when I can, but, these guys that wear the uniform shirts, 2 sizes too small, so you can tell that they've been lifting heavy stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this guy's one of them kind of guys.
Same way I wear my male uniform, except so you can see.
That's exactly right. And I try to tell people like that. I don't do it anymore because I try not to talk to anybody except for my bird dogs, who keep bringing this toy in here. That's what you hear, this puppy bringing me this squeaker. You walk up to them and say, hey, if you quit lifting heavy stuff, that swelling will go down. That shirt will fit better. And they don't like it. So anyway, these tough guys were in this little old shack, essentially a tar paper shack, a little better than a trailer. And the old man in the wheelchair pulled out Mr. 45 auto. And I'm telling you right now, when you're talking to 70-year-old men with 45 autos, a lot of them at least think they know how to use it, which is worse than people that do, right? So he pulled a pistol out and cut down. I don't know who shot first, but I assure you that the deputies were able to move faster than he was and ultimately escaped, but he did not. Okay. And so now, when I see a dude in a wheelchair, all these concealed carry, y'all got concealed carry out there in Ohio?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, dude, people here carry guns like you wouldn't even. I mean, they're walking through Sam's Club, Walmart, gas station. I mean, they carry guns everywhere here, everywhere. So I can only imagine a dude in a wheelchair is packing at least 1, maybe 2. I just don't know if So did he go confront him because his kid didn't get enough playtime? And then I don't understand.
Well,
people.
I don't know, because what do you think that's going to solve? It's certainly not going to get your kid any more playing time. It's not going to get your kid any more playing time. And if he does get more playing time, you're not going to see it because you're going to be in jail. He's facing an attempted murder and a felonious assault.
The reason why you have the ability to coach teenagers for such a long time, right?
Yeah.
Is same reason you can suspend disbelief writing a movie or a love song, okay? Is because you actually believe there's such a thing as good parents at a teen game, right? You can suspend your disbelief, you know what I mean? Because I'm telling you what, I've been in some games, and you feel for the kids sometimes because they know that's their mom and dad are yelling, or some of these people are just absolutely insane. Now, I didn't have a whole lot of contact with insanity working, you know what I mean, really working with because they just, back in my day when I was a real street cop, people had manners, you know what I mean? People had manners, and they did, you know what I mean? They didn't act completely crazy. A lot of them were drunk, you know what I mean? But and they might fist fight. But nowadays, I mean, the world's damn crazy. The kids are on pills. The parents ought to be taken. You know?
Well, I was trying to wrap my head around like how, you have firsthand experience seeing a guy in a wheelchair pull out a gun and try to fight a deputy. But, I'm walking up to a guy in a wheelchair. If I'm mad at him, I'm just dumping him out of the wheelchair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you don't. Yeah, but you don't. You think you are till he pulls out that pistol. You know what I mean?
That's true. But you normally don't.
Everybody is a tough guy. Hey,
yeah.
I worked with another guy. You want to talk about gunfights? And I know this ain't a gunfight show or whatever, but I worked with a trooper that stopped a guy on Interstate 44 in Missouri, and I think it was an Olds Cutlass or a late 70s, early 80s Cutlass or Monte Carlo. So in not my police training, but in my upbringing, if they're driving a Cutlass or Monte Carlo, especially if it's got Kragers on it, that says I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And I think it was a Cutlass. The dude steps out, and he's got one of them, remember them kind of satin windbreakers from back in the day? Oh, yeah. And I don't remember if it was I hate to use the term stag beer in vain because that's what they all wore where I grew up. It was like a Busch Light or Bud Light. It was some kind of a beer.
It was kind of like
satin jacket.
The ones Lenny and Squiggy wore on Laverne and Shirley.
Yes, and he's got, how they had that
Shots Brewery.
Well, right at the base of it, it's got like elastic or whatever holds it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got
he reached in. So he gets out of the car as the same time the cops there, and this is 25 years ago or so before the cops get nuts. Now, now the people are nuts. The cops go nuts or whatever. So as he's getting out of the car, the trooper meets him at the back fender there, and this dude reaches in his jacket, and out the bottom of the jacket falls a stainless steel 357 Magnum. I guess he didn't have a holster. It was just like he thought the elastic was going to hold it in. I don't know. But he reached down to grab it with his right hand. The driver, the suspect, grabbed this 357 with his right hand, and the trooper grabbed his right hand, the suspect's right hand, with his left wrist. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so the trooper had a hold of the guy's gun hand and used his strong hand to pull out his 40 caliber Glock, and they commenced to shooting at each other. And the trooper ended up fatally killing the guy in the windbreaker. Okay, but only half of I think he shot 6 times, and only 3 of them hit. None of the bad guys' rounds hit at all. So you can have a hold of the guy, So people that, I follow all these things for boredom on Twitter, and I read people's posts, and there's all these gunfighters, and I call them keyboard commandos or whatever, and they tell you this or that or the other or whatever, and you can tell they ain't never had a hold of a dude with a gun, because you get a hold of a guy with a gun and it's real. So hey. Wheelchair or not, maybe the wheelchair, the facts will come out at some point, but I just don't know if there's anything worth fighting over. Start your own league, get another player. I don't know.
Well, I'm wondering if I should roll into the tournament games this weekend in a wheelchair and an eye patch, and really take it to the next level.
Well, was he missing something besides just the leg? Is that why he's in the wheelchair? Because he's missing a leg.
That's what I heard.
20-some plus years ago, I worked as a trooper down here where I'm at, and I don't want to say it was primitive, but a lot more primitive. There's a blacktop road I used to drive down there because it was this time of year, it's turkey season. I'd go down there and see if there's any turkeys. I passed this car, and the kid looks something. It didn't have a front license plate. It was an old, I don't remember what it was, something from the 80s, right? No hubcaps. You know how country cars look.
And like every one of the cars I ever owned. Okay.
Yes, I didn't want to say all that. I almost said like rural Mary. It looked like a rural mail carrier's car. You know how they look. So anyway, I followed him back up to gravel. And as soon as we got on the blacktop, I turned my red lights on. I would put my hat on, and I walk up here and I say, "Can I see your driver's license, proof of insurance?" He said, "What are you doing on this gravel road?" And I said, "I beg your pardon." "Well, what are you doing on this gravel road? There's not supposed to be any cops down here." I said, "Son, how old are you?" And he goes, "I'm 14. And I said, "So you don't have the driver's license?" "Nope." I said, "Your mom and dad know where you're going?" "Yep." "So where are you going?" "I'm going over such and such house, my friend." I said, "And they just let you drive?" "Yeah, because there's no cops down here." So I said,
Wow.
"Where are you going again?" He said, he told me. I said, "I'll tell you what, I'll just follow you up there." He goes, "Serious?" I said, "Yep." So I follow him over to his friend's house. He gets out and he starts walking away. And I said, No, you're coming with me." And he goes, well, I'm going with you. You let me drive over here. And I said, "Yeah, because there's no place to stop his car. A little 2-lane blacktop and gravel road. You know where I'm going to park the car." "Well, where are you taking me?" I said, "I'm taking you back home." Well, why?" And I said, "Because you ain't supposed to drive. You can either go to juvenile in Camden County, which is the adjoining county, because this county is too poor to have on its own juvenile facility." "Are you serious?" I said, "Yes, I'm serious." So he gets to my car, and I take him back to his house. Mom and Dad ain't even home. So they
didn't know. So they didn't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, whatever. So I ended up talking to his old man later. So then he says, "Well, you can't leave me here." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, because my car's over there."
So you still didn't get it. Like, it doesn't matter if the car's over there. You're not old enough to drive.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.